Hello everybody, this is Hollywood Joe with another edition of the Road to Wrestlemania, and this is week 2 on the Road to Wrestlemania, and I will start out with the obvious topic of the week, the Undertaker versus Triple H matchup that is looming, as they would say. Earlier this week on Raw, Triple H rejected The Undertaker's challenge, citing his reasons why, saying that he had nothing left to prove, that he left The Undertaker lying at last year's WrestleMania, and that he doesn't have the same feeling around The Undertaker that he used to. Once Triple H, rejected that challenge, The Undertaker had this kind of like really cryptic, creepy promo, pretty much telling Triple H that this is not over. So that should be kind of interesting to see what happens. So, and as John Laurinaitis pointed out, Shawn Michaels will be appearing on this upcoming edition of Raw upcoming week, which I'm sure Shawn Michaels will have something to say to Triple H about the challenge for The Undertaker. So, obviously, as unhappy as I am with it, The Undertaker will be facing Triple H again, and it's just a matter of time before it's official. But I do like the build up for it. I do like the fact that it's just not, okay, we both square off in the ring, let's have a match. They're actually going to have a little bit of build up for it this time, which might probably make it a better match. So, also on Raw, Sheamus made the declaration that he would choose his WrestleMania opponent the night after the Elimination Chamber. I'm thinking that he's going to lean towards SmackDown, obviously, because of the fact that they're building up towards Chris Jericho and CM Punk, which Jericho called out Punk again on this week's edition of Raw. He pretty much poked fun of every opponent he had in the Elimination Chamber, saying that every last member of the Elimination Chamber was a copycat of Chris Jericho, and particularly singled out CM Punk. It should also be noted that Chris Jericho won the six-pack challenge this past Monday, which will make him the last entrant into the Elimination Chamber. So that was pretty much Raw this week. Not much else went on. SmackDown, though, had some interesting turn of events. SmackDown has main event featured Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan, in which Big Show interfered in that match, costing Randy Orton the match. But what most fans didn't see is the aftermath of that. WWE.com showed the brawl that ensued between Orton and the Big Show after SmackDown, and it ended with the Big Show choke slamming Randy Orton and leave him in the center of the ring. So I'm thinking that's gonna start possibly turning the Big Show heel again for his rumored match at WrestleMania 28 with Shaquille O'Neal. So because Shaq, from what I've been reading, is scheduled to appear the following week after the Elimination Chamber, either on Raw or SmackDown. So that should be very interesting. You should keep up to date on that. Big Show was also involved in the tag team match with Sheamus taking on Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. It was actually a really solid match. It wound up being probably one of the, probably other than the six-pack challenge, the best match of the week. So that's what happened on TV. As I'm sure most of you have heard if you read the internet news, the two inductees that they're going to have at the Hall of Fame, the other two, are going to be Ron Simmons and Yokozuna. I've been told that Yokozuna is going to be inducted by The Rock, and I'm sure Yokozuna's family will be there to accept the award, and JBL will be inducting Ron Simmons. As most of you know, JBL and Ron Simmons were part of one of the probably coolest tag teams of the late 90s into the early millennium, known as the Acolytes or the APA. So that's who's been named for the Hall of Fame thus far. Kind of a quiet week on the road to WrestleMania this week, but like I said, I think you're starting to see some interesting things build up. Like I said, Triple H versus The Undertaker, CM Punk versus Jericho. I noticed not Wade Barrett, but Sheamus kind of gave the hint that he might be picking Daniel Bryan if Daniel Bryan wins the SmackDown Elimination Chamber. And speaking of the Elimination Chamber, it was announced on Monday Night Raw by interim general manager John Laurinaitis, who still has his job. It was announced that John Cena and Kane will wrestle each other in a ambulance match at the Elimination Chamber. And as far as I know, the only other ambulance match that I've seen in the WWE was back in Survivor Series 2003 between Shane McMahon and Kane, which Kane obviously won. A lot of people think that this match is going to be the match that turns Cena heel, but I've been reading a lot of the local advertisements for shows for weeks after WrestleMania, and it still shows John Cena, being a face and teaming with faces and stuff like that. So I really wonder how much this John Cena turning heel stuff is going to happen. A lot of people are misreading into it, I think. I think people are just, coming to the conclusion that he's going to turn heel because of WrestleMania. But I don't think that's going to happen. The more I think about it, I think it's just WWE trying to swerve everybody because there's so many reports and so many theories out there on the internet, which, again, that's why they changed the Royal Rumble the way they did, because, it had already been leaked that Chris Jericho was going to wrestle CM Punk. So that's really the big news of the week. And as I said, John Laurinaitis is still the interim general manager of Raw for now, and we'll see what his role will be leading into WrestleMania, to see if he's still kind of egging CM Punk on or egging Triple H on or what have you. So that's the news for the week. That's week 2 on the road to WrestleMania. We have about 5 weeks left until then, and I can pretty much guarantee you after next week's Elimination Chamber, it's really going to start to heat up. So stay tuned for more. Same channel, same time next week. Post your thoughts, comments, questions below. Have a good day, guys. Bye.